If we look at some of the scenes from Birdman, it's hard to believe that it's a one-shot film, but when you find out that the mind behind the cinematography was Chivo, any doubt leaves your mind. Birdman was one of the most impressive films of the past decade. Not only was the story intriguing with incredible performances by the cast, but the cinematography was also outstanding, and today I want to look at how Emmanuel Lubezki shot Birdman, or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. I'll mainly be looking at how he uses movement to his advantage, his use of colour and lighting in order to portray emotion through his cinematography, as well as what equipment he used to achieve the unique look. Let's start with the obvious factor of the film being a oneer. Now, there are several films throughout history that have actually been one shot, for example Russian Ark or more famously Victoria, but Birdman is a bit different. Instead of just doing one take, they would stitch several scenes together, with the longest take being around 15 minutes. Using this method as opposed to just doing a oneer is both a positive and a negative. If it were just one shot, then they wouldn't have to edit them all together, as everything would have just been done in camera. By stitching all of the scenes together though, it allows for them to create more intricate sets, have better lighting design, and be able to get the best performances out of the actors. Whilst it would have been an extremely intricate and complicated pre-production process where they would have had to time each scene and word of dialogue to a T, when it comes to actually shooting the film, it should have been rather simple.
See, I can pretend to. Oh! Don't fuck with me, Mike.
Lubezki is known for his handheld work, and even though Birdman is a oneer, he didn't shy away from it. It would have been really easy to just shoot everything on a Steadicam, but they used handheld to their advantage. In a lot of the scenes, a Steadicam would have just felt off. If we see the character panicking, we want to feel the panic through the cinematography as well, but the same goes the other way. There are many scenes where Regan is semi-relaxed, and that's when we hop onto a Steadicam where it just feels right. Colour is one of the most important tools you can have in cinematography, and Birdman fully embraces that. Many of the scenes throughout are absolutely full of colour, and as you take a closer look at the set, you start to see how coordinated it actually is. Let's look at this scene for example. Emma Stone is not only surrounded by yellow walls and yellow light, but everything in the shot is also some shade of yellow. It's conveying a sense of danger and assertiveness in the character, and it's also a direct statement from Alejandra González Iñárritu, who's showing the power that she has in the scene, but also throughout the film. Another example of using colour to show emotion is when they are on stage. Throughout the film, Iñárritu uses many colours, but on stage he tended to keep towards strong blues and deep reds. Reds are often used in film to portray love, but also power and danger, which illustrates the actress's feeling in this scene with Edward Norton. Blues are often used to represent coldness in a scene, but they can also portray quite a melancholic emotion. When it comes to the lighting in this film, in a lot of the scenes, Lubezki uses a very theatrical setup, even when they aren't on stage. Because it's one thing to use theatrical lighting when portraying a play in a theatre, that's just obvious, but then to use it throughout is a statement. Obviously it worked extremely well, and it helps convey a feeling that this life will never leave Regan. Lubezki didn't shy away from using natural light either, and in some scenes he didn't even have a choice but to use the native lighting. For example, this scene in Times Square. Throughout the film, a ton of different techniques are used, whether it was an abstract lighting setup or just making everything in a room a shade of one colour. But when you are as talented as Lubezki and are already using a technique that many just call a gimmick, then why not try out a few other techniques? And in this case, it ended up working extremely well, but also what else do you expect from Chivo? Lubezki opted to use the Arri Alexa M and Arri Alexa XT, paired with Leitz's Summilux Cs and Zeiss's Master Primes. The Arri Alexa M is the perfect choice for a film like this, as the sensor is detachable from the body, allowing for a much lighter rig, and this was a time before the Alexa Mini was even announced, so it was the smallest that you could get while still keeping the Alexa's colour science. The M was the main camera throughout, as a lot of the film is handheld, and due to it being very small, it allowed for Lubezki to get in between the actors. The XT was only really used for when they needed a Steadicam or for when they wanted to get a little wider. He He opted for light glass as they are extremely fast as well as being very compact and uncommonly light. This allows for Lubezki to keep the small form factor of the Alexa M and have a reasonably lightweight rig. Zeiss Master Primes are some of the most used and famous lenses in cinema. They are notable for their almost zero distortion at even their widest focal lengths, which Lubezki tends to be a fan of, with him even saying that, "I love the way the Master Primes are, one of the best lenses probably ever made. They allow you to have clean images and that I like very much." They are also incredible at low light performance, allowing for a t-stop of down to 1.3 while still retaining their signature sharpness. You can take a look back at Lubezki's previous films, and a lot of the time he will always come back to the staples of high quality, wide angle glass and Aries cameras. Ultimately, Lubezki has crafted one of the most stunning films of the past decade. His use of lighting and movement in Birdman is unparalleled, and he's created a world which fully immerses the audience. I hope you enjoyed this video looking at how Emmanuel Lubezki shot Birdman. If you found it informative, a like is appreciated, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, then hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.